So I had always like felt a little different and stuff. I always seemed kind of annoying to my friends, like a lot, and I could never focus. I've never really been able to focus. It's gotten to the point of like tears where I try to like do my math homework or something and I just can't. I have ADHD and a thing that comes with that is like bad insomnia. I've always had insomnia and I probably just make it worse by looking at screens and stuff. I have to take sleeping pills, melatonin. So falling asleep's difficult no matter what. It's like my mind kind of drifts off, but I have to like, it's really hard to keep track. So like I can do it sometimes, but not always. Like
In 8th grade, the teacher's talking. She's like, this is math. It's spelled with an A, not an E. That's another thing. And then I was just kind of sitting there like this and like zoning out. And I was just kind of like nodding along to make it look like I was paying attention. Like subconsciously, my brain's like, hey, hey, nod along. She'll think you're paying attention. Okay. But in reality, I was zoned out thinking about like, I don't know, what would mirrors taste like if they had a flavor or something like that. And then when she's like, okay, what are we talking about? And then I'm like, okay. And then I do like this like Sherlock Holmes type shit, looking at the stuff on the board, and I'm just like piecing it together like as fast as I can. And then I like feign confidence, and I'm like, oh, it's like this, right? So even if I get it wrong, she thinks that I like know it or something. I don't know. I ended up getting it right, even though I wasn't paying attention and I had no clue what we were talking about, because I just like skimmed the board really quick.
What do you think I asked you?
You, how I tricked my 8th grade teacher.
I asked you if the way you manage your ADHD has changed in the last 2 years.
No, it has not. I do the same shit.
this one kid in particular, I forget what his name was, but he was a senior. He's like, "What's up, Freshy?" And he wanted to give me a handshake. I didn't know what to do, alright? So he gave me a handshake, and he just like squeezed my hand into oblivion. I legitimately thought my hand was going to break. I could see him actually struggling to squeeze my hand. Like I could see his like face getting red. Like he was legitimately trying to like break my hand, I think. My hand hurt so bad I almost cried in the hall. I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. I'm not gonna deal with the constant kids at my school being mean to me and everyone in general, you know. Ever since I got there, I wanted to be homeschooled, because we had always kind of thought about homeschool, and then eventually one day we're just like, let's do it, and then I was set on it, and then a week later, no, I don't want to do homeschool, definitely not, and then a week later, yes, I do want to do homeschool, and we really just went back and forth until one day I'm like, yep, I want to do homeschool. I know my brain's gonna say, no, you don't, but I'm just gonna stick with this answer because I rationalized it.
Most of the teachers don't know how to use technology. My math teacher, for example, he plays multiple videos per class, like Khan Academy videos, but they're laggy and we can't hear them. So we see a Khan Academy video at like 3 frames per second, but the only audio we hear is the audio coming out of his laptop speakers that go back in. We hear like 3, add the divisible from 5, and that's your answer. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what is the point of me even being here? There have been times when I've been in class and this has been happening, and I'm just like, okay, but like, I'm not, it's not working. And no, like, am I missing something here? So I'm just like, okay, and I'll just like leave and I'll do the work by myself. Because it's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? But lately I've kind of been wanting to go back to real school a little bit, like maybe next year. I miss my friends and stuff, but it's like a double-edged sword. I feel like if I went back to school now, I wouldn't really be made fun of for my height or anything like that. Now I'm like, if I'm wearing my back brace, I have scoliosis now. That's new.
Wait, you have
If I'm wearing my
scoliosis
back
now?
brace, God came down and he punched my back. Now I have to wear this uncomfortable brace. My back is surprisingly close to being like eligible for surgery, which is scary. Because if they say you're eligible for surgery, I'll probably do it. But the surgery actually sounds like a living hell. They get your back. They just slice down the entirety of it so they can see your spine. Fix your spine with metal rods. And then they fuse your spine together so you can't move as much anymore. And the bone grows over the metal rods. The metal just becomes like inside your bones. And now your back is like a lot straighter, but you have a 2-foot-long scar on your back, and you have to like relearn to walk or something. I don't know. I don't want to do it, but if I, hey, if it gives me an extra inch on my height, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Mom, how tall are you? I'm blah blah blah, but if I didn't have scoliosis, I'd be blah 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 blah. Oh, that's cool. What's scoliosis? It's genetic. I'm gonna fucking give it to you and you're gonna be in pain. Oh. 1 second, let me get a swig of my good juice. And by good juice, I mean water, because water is the best drink. Now I'm really at McDonald's. This feels real, Syrmor. This feels real.
I am like 4'9", 4'10", and that's really bad for a 15-year-old. When I'm walking, you'd probably think of me as like a 10-year-old. And most of my friends now, they don't get asked if they need a kids menu, but I do. I know that's not a big thing, but it just lets me look into the public perception of me, like when I just go about my daily life.
You got a good deal on the kids menu. You're saving money.
Every doctor's like, oh, he's fine. And then one day, doctor's like, yeah, this is a little bit weird. Maybe it's just because he doesn't eat right. So they sent me to a food person. And the food person is like, does spaghetti look like worms? And I'm like, what? And she's like, is spaghetti worms? Does spaghetti look like worms? And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, let's try giving him more calories. Just eat stuff with a ton of calories. Eat all the time. He can eat whatever he wants. We literally do not care. He just needs to eat. Because he's skinny and he's small. Get him food. So we're like, okay. So I just started eating everything all the time, always, even when I wasn't hungry. If I was bored, I would eat. Which for most people is bad. You're not supposed to do that. But it's not bad for me. Just because I'm so small. Hold that thought. Gotta be right back. They... Shut up. Shut up. No, nothing. Never mind, Google. This is like another thing to add to my list of things I have to see doctors for. I have to see the doctors like every 6 months about my short. They're like, are you short? Yes. Okay. And then they take my blood and see how it's working. And they also do this thing called a bone age. They take a picture of my hand. I put my hand down on a table. He takes a picture of it and then I leave. And then they just see like my bone plates. And they see if they're closed or not. If they're closed, that means I can't grow anymore. If they're open, that means I can still grow somewhere.
Aren't you worried that you're going to miss out on certain important life experiences from being homeschooled?
That did cross my mind, but VR is a way to escape, Like I can be a frog.
I keep in touch with all of my friends, really, but it's just I don't see them that often. Like at all. I remember when the first video was posted to Reddit, I sorted by controversial, and I saw someone say like, this isn't like against the kid, but homeschool will really mess up his social skills. And, it's controversial, so some people were like, he's right, and other people were like, no, don't be negative. But I mean, like, he's not wrong. He wasn't wrong. I feel like it just made like my social anxiety worse. Like, I have a few things that happened like very recently where it's like, wow, I can't do anything, can I? I went to a Best Buy and I'm walking around and I go to like the PlayStation aisle and I'm like just looking around because I don't have anything else better to do. I look to my left and I have to kind of do a double take because like standing there is this girl who I liked for a really, really, really long time. And then I'm like, okay, we gotta leave. We gotta get out of here. We gotta go. And like we make eye contact and I'm like, fuck. But I mean, I have glasses now and I was wearing a mask and I had a hat on. So I was like, hopefully she didn't recognize me. So I literally just left. So I ran away from a girl that I liked at Best Buy. So I'm basically the coolest guy that has ever lived. A couple weeks ago, I went to a mall by myself because I had just gotten my driver's license and I'm like, let's go to the mall. Because I'm really bad with people. So it's like, okay, this is where I get good with people. I'm not like talking to them, I don't think, because I don't think I have the courage to do that. Like my problems started before I even got in the door. I am walking by myself and then these two girls come out of nowhere, like from between cars. Nice. While I'm walking, so I'm like this. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. So I'm like this, these two girls come out like this and they're walking and now we're walking like this, okay? One of them kind of turns around and looks at me and I'm just kind of like, what? And I'm like, oh no, she looked at me, this is not good. And then we get to the door and she holds the door open for me. I feel like when I'm nervous and in public, I become like weird to look at. Like my eyes get all like small, like I look very bored or tired and I kind of talk like this. I'm like, thank you. Like I turn very monotone and she holds the door and I'm like, thank you. She kind of like turns around and like she made like a face, I think. Like it kind of looked like I don't know, like scared or like disgusted, or just maybe that's just her face. I really have no clue. In my head, my brain, just immediately thinks, they think I'm following them. They think I'm being weird. I need to escape. So they keep walking and I'm walking, and I'm like, they're going this way. I will go up the stairs while they leave. So I go up the stairs and they go up this way, and then I kind of go around here, and I'm going to wherever I was just gonna go. I was just gonna like walk around the mall, and they go up the escalator, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to like intercept them. So I'm like, that's not good. So I kind of go this way. I go like a totally different way than I was gonna go. And I just go the opposite direction while they keep going that way. People who just looked at me like once, like for all I know, they were just like, his hat's blue, and then they just like kept walking. I don't know that's what they were thinking, but that's just what my brain jumped to. And for the rest of that time in the mall, I was just in like fight or flight mode, because I felt like everyone was looking at me the entire time I was there and laughing at me. Like anytime someone would giggle, I'm like, I did something, didn't I? And then I went home. If I'm online, like I could talk to people fine. I'll be like, hey dude, what's up? But it's like in real life, if I'm like, hey dude, what's up? I don't know. It just doesn't work the same. I just don't work in public. I do not, unless I have a friend there. I'm not comfortable, but I'm like more comfortable to the point where it's bearable. And I haven't gone back to the mall since, even though I wanted to buy a shirt.
When I was like 6, for 2 hours, I got pieces of paper and built a fully functioning Kermit puppet that I loved. And I made 2 more out of cloth. I really like Kermit. I've always liked puppets and stuff like that. When I was younger, I wanted to be a puppeteer.
I'm all about animation. You know, that's the cool thing. That's what the kids do. In order of things I do most to least, we got video games, like Escape from Tarkov, animation, and then school. This is what I do the most, I think. I'm at a payphone trying to call.
What song is that?
I don't know. Something by Weezer, hopefully.
I can't tell if you're joking because I don't listen to Weezer.
It's Weezer.
Wait, are you a big Weezer fan?
Only their first 2 albums, but you're not allowed to say you're a fan. But that's basically every Weezer fan. Every Weezer fan's like, because no one like the first 2 albums. Like 3 Weezer fans, and a few of the other songs. That all of them are always meet another Weezer fan. That's never, you'll never meet a Weezer fan. And you're like, I am a Weezer fan for that. No one's gonna swipe right. Or is it left? I don't have Tinder, so I don't know if left or right is like the good one. I'll plug my YouTube channel, you know, go subscribe to it, you know what I'm saying? I post sick raps, but they're not raps and they're drawings. Hopefully I can go to art school. That's like my main goal. My main goal is art school. Cartoons are like my favorite thing besides video games. Like video games, cartoons, like they're like this. I think video games take up more of my time, but cartoons have molded me as a person more, I think. It's so weird because like those shows are just like permanent parts of me now. You know, when I was like 8 years old, sitting on like the carpet looking up at the TV screen and seeing like SpongeBob and Phineas and Ferb and Adventure Time and Gravity Falls and like all of these shows. I've always drawn my like whole life, but like I remember even as like a young lad wondering how they did the things they did. How do they make this part of the picture stay the same and this part of the picture move? Because no way they're tracing it every single time, because that's too much work. It was J.G. Quintel, when he was writing and drawing his little pictures of Mordecai and Benson doing acid, do you think he thought in his head, wow, a ton of kids are gonna look at this on Cartoon Network and say, I'm gonna do that? Like, who knows? Like, that's crazy. All these people are just like making things that make other people make things, which is really cool. I think that's cool.
Do you still have an interest in puppets at all?
Not really, but I think most people who do like creative, I can't do the finger thing, but creative things, I think most people who do that have like always done creative things. When I was very little, you know, maybe it's just playing with Play-Doh, but as you go on, it's like, oh, now I make puppets and I'm interested in puppets. Oh, now I like to draw, now I want to make comics. And eventually you kind of, okay, I think I'll settle on this. So I'm pretty sure animation's what I want to do. I think I put in enough time with it where it's like I'm past the turning point. I think I've
no going back now.
Yeah, there's no going back now. Like if I wanted to be like an engineer or something, I'd have to actually be paying attention in math class. So, you know, it's like you put a lot of like labor into like tiny little things and little details, and then at the end you make like this big thing where it's like, how did I even do that? It feels like you blinked and now there's this thing. I make a little animation of a guy burning down a house. I look at that and I go, I'm proud of that, you know, I like that. I think I did a good job here. I don't know if this is the same for you or other people who make things, but it's like whenever I am proud of something, I'll like put it online and people will be like, this is so good, I like this, but I can't tell if they're being nice just to be nice or if I'm like actually doing good. Are the things I make actually like, wow, that's cool? Or is it just like, oh look, it's a little tiny picture of a smiling face. Let's give them a big thumbs up. I can't tell, so at this point I'm kind of just like, I'll make what I make and I'm bound to improve. So as long as I'm improving, like sometimes I think my stuff's good. And then I'm like, but is it actually? Is that just like, am I just seeing it through the lens of my eyes? So, who knows?
Quick, pitch me an idea for an animated show.
Transformers, but they're evil. So it's like the Decepticons, but they're also really bad at their job, so they kind of just sit around doing whatever all day, and then it gets really sad halfway through the series because like they start dying or something. I don't know. But also they can't transform.
If you could tell one thing to every Dawa in the world, what would it be?
You need to draw more, bitch.